Welcome everyone to our yoga practice today. We just drew the light initiation activation card. So I thought it'd be fitting to do our yoga practice day, which I've been really excited to do because I'm feeling like I could really use a good stretch today. But center it, focus it around that light initiation theme as well. So to begin, I invite you to start in a seated position of your choice. I'm just going to do where I have the sole of the one foot against the inner thigh, opposite inner thigh, and then sole of the other foot against the opposite shin, kind of a Burmese style seated easy pose. And then just letting your hands rest down on your knees or thighs. It can either be palm down or palm up, whatever feels intuitively more suitable for you today. Today, I'm feeling like I'd like to do the hands down and taking a moment before closing your eyes and just checking your posture. I'm just going to roll my shoulders kind of up and back just to open up the chest a little bit. And once I feel grounded and steady and coming to some stillness, and I'm going to close my eyes, just a slight tuck of the chin as well. With the eyes closed, just take a nice deep breath all the way in your nose and then out your mouth. Just allow yourself to settle in. Let's try that 2 more times. Slow, deep inhale through the nose. And then once you're at the top, slow exhale out the mouth. Maybe a little sigh at the end. Whatever feels most intuitively fitting for you. Deep breath in the nose again. And slow, steady exhale out the mouth. Nice. And then just let yourself come into your natural breath with the eyes closed. I'm going to take our right hand to the belly, left hand to the chest over the heart center. Palm on the belly, palm on the heart center. And just feeling the flow of our breath in and out. Feeling the expansion of your belly on the inhale, then your chest. And then the fall of your chest. And then your belly on the exhale. So nice, slow, diaphragmatic breath. Breathing into the belly and up into the chest. Exhale, chest falls. Then belly pulls in. 5 more breaths, just like that. Just at your own pace. No rush. Two more. Last one, feeling all the way to the top. And then with ease, releasing. Now coming back into your natural breath. And feeling your left palm on the heart center. Just feeling where it is resting on the heart center. And feeling the energy that is there. And focusing on that energy at the heart center. Noticing what it feels like. It might be very minimal, or maybe it's very, very significant. So whatever's there is fine. Try not to judge it. We're just observing what's there. Now resting in this energy of the heart center, asking yourself, just to yourself quietly, what am I ready to begin? What am I ready to begin? Now listening to whatever comes up. Maybe it's just our next breath, embodying that next breath, whatever it is. What am I ready to begin? All right, taking a deep breath in the nose, filling all the way to the top. And one more drink into the top. And then exhale. All right, and coming back to your natural breath. Slowly, when you're ready, opening the eyes and bringing yourself back into the space. Okay. So we're just going to start with warming up the body just a little bit, starting with some neck rolls. So on an inhale, just reaching the crown of the head up. And then exhale, let's lower the left ear towards the left shoulder. So you don't want to strain and force it to the left shoulder. Just let gravity move it towards the left shoulder. And perhaps taking the right fingertips out to the side, if that feels good. If you're already feeling a lot, then you can leave the hand right where it was. And then falling into your deep breath, a diaphragmatic breath. Deep breath in. And now exhale, let's release the head forward slowly. Moving the chin down towards the chest, kind of a semicircle action here. Taking your time though. And when you're ready on an inhale, we're completing that semicircle, guiding the right ear towards the right shoulder. And once you're in position here, feel free to, if you want to use the left fingertips on the mat, we're going to be here for a few breaths. Allowing the neck muscles to just soften. We're not straining, we're not overextending. We're just moving into the stretch with ease and allowing our body just to release and soften when it's ready. Just deep breath in. And then exhale, releasing that, going into that semicircle action again. Nice and easy, chin to chest. And then inhaling, left ear towards left shoulder. And then with your breath, just flowing through the semicircle. So exhaling, chin to chest. Inhaling, right ear to right shoulder. So moving at your own pace with your breath. Let your breath lead. If you're like me, this is one of the number one places. I know my body tells me when I'm overdoing it because my neck will just start killing me. It causes all kinds of problems. I'll get all kinds of headaches, and I know I've just been holding a lot of tension in my neck. Time for some breathing and some neck stretches. All right, and the next time chin comes down the chest, take your time. But on the inhale, you can slowly guide your head back up to the neutral position and release the hands on the knees or thighs if they're on the mat. And then we'll move into some shoulder rolls. So we're going to start leaving the hands on the thighs just for some added resistance. So we're going to inhale, rolling the shoulders forward and up. Oh, it already feels great. And then exhale, back and down. Inhale, forward and up. Exhale, back and down. So flowing with your breath. The thought I have when I do this is like, oh, I need to do this more often. Oh, it feels great. Oh. All right, and let's move now in the opposite direction. So inhaling, we're kind of rolling from the back up, and then exhaling forward and down. So just opposite direction. There'll be one direction I find that you really like, wow, I really feel it this way. For me, it was that forward direction. Oh, this is still great. One more time. All right, and then coming back to that neutral seated position. And we're going to move through a few side bends. So taking the left fingertips down to the mat, right palm out and facing up. Inhale, reaching that right arm all the way up, nice and tall. And then exhale, side bend towards the left. Hold for a couple breaths. Nice. Inhale, flow all the way up. This time, right fingertips come down. Left palm is facing up. We're going to inhale that left arm all the way up, nice and tall. And then exhale, side bend to the right. Hold for a few breaths. That feels great. Inhale all the way up and down. Then we're going to flow with our breath here. So inhale, right arm up. Exhale, bend. Inhale, up. Exhale, right fingertips down. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, bend. So just flow with your breath here for a few more cycles on each side. Just move with the flow of your breath. It doesn't have to, be at the exact same pace as me. Whatever feels good in your body. That's rule number one. That's how we do it here. One more on the next side. And then on your last exhale, just coming up to our neutral seated position. Just pause here for a couple breaths. Just feel the energy already in your body. Maybe a little space you've already created in especially your upper body. Just notice that. All right, let's take our legs out in front. Give them a little shake here. Been in that cross leg position for a little while, so we'll give the legs a little shake here. Maybe just a little forward fold. So take your time. We're not like going to overstretch it here. We just want to go nice and easy. Just walking our hands towards our feet, depending on deep breath. Your flexibility, you might be reaching the feet or the toes, depends where you're at. But remember, we're just warming up here. So just nice and light stretch. Nothing too intense. Couple more breaths. Nice. And then allowing yourself to come all the way back up. So I was seated on a cushion there. I find that's really nice when I'm really stiff like I am today, especially in the seated position. So we're going to, if you have that, just put it off to the side. And then we're going to come into our tabletop. So just bringing our feet back behind. So we want our knees under our hips and our hands under our shoulders. Now, fingers are spread nice and wide. You can either have the toes tucked or untucked. I'm feeling like I'd like them tucked today. Just gives me a nice added stretch on the arch of the feet. And we're going to move through a few rounds of our tabletop cat and cow. So inhale, belly comes down, the chin and pelvis tilt up. And then exhale, we're curving up the spine, doing our cat, tucking our chin and pelvis. So we just flow with your breath. Again, letting your breath lead here. Nice and slow, just feeling in your body where you feel the stretch. Sending your breath there. Let's go 3 more full rounds. Take your time. After your last exhale, come back to your neutral tabletop. And if the toes are not tucked, feel free to tuck them. And then deep breath in. And then exhale, just bringing the hips back towards your heels. So just a little bit more of a stretch on the arch of the feet. I feel like I could really use that today. This is a bit much. Remember, you can always kind of let off. You don't have to go all the way back onto the heels. So deep breath. All right. Then coming back up into your tabletop, we can untuck the toes and just give your feet a little TLC. We can kind of scrunch up the toes and then relax them. There we go. And then we're going to move into one of my absolute favorite poses, which is thread the needle. I've done this in a little while, and my shoulders definitely feel like they could use it. So rooting that left hand, some people like to bring it a little bit more towards center underneath you. But if you feel steady on the left hand under the left shoulder, that's fine as well. Then on an inhale, we're going to open up the right arm out to the right. Gaze can go up towards the right hand. And then exhale. That right hand comes down and under the left arm, we come right onto the right shoulder. Now, option here to tent the left fingertips or to bring the left arm all the way back and up and even rest it on your lower back. So totally up to you what version of thread the needle you'd like to do here. Finding your breath. This one is absolutely great for tight shoulders, tight neck. Gets into all the nooks and crannies. All right, and then bringing the left fingertips down to the mat if they aren't already. Bring yourself back up into your tabletop position. Taking a deep breath. Now bringing the right hand perhaps a little bit more towards center. Make sure the fingertips are spread nice and wide. Feel nice and steady, resting on that right hand. And then when you're ready, we can inhale, bringing the left arm out and open to the left. Gaze can go up. And then exhale, the left arm comes all the way down and under that right arm. So we're coming right onto that left shoulder. Again, you can tent the right fingertips if you want to make it a little more emphasized here, or guide that right arm all the way back and behind. So totally up to you. Find your breath. Deep breath. One more deep breath. And on the exhale, bringing those right fingertips back down. We're going to come back into our tabletop position here. Maybe a couple more rounds of cat and cow. There we go. And then coming back to our tabletop. So we're going to do a little bit of a balancing pose here in our tabletop called bird dog. This one it can be a little bit tricky, a little bit to get the hang of. So we're going to take we'll start with the right hand towards center a little bit more. I kind of like that. It helps me maintain my balance a little bit more. And then, so the weight is going to be on that right hand and on the left knee. Okay. And then we're going to work on, you can start with maybe just bringing the left fingertips ahead just a little bit and maybe lengthening that right leg. Okay. So just kind of, you see where we're going here. And then if that feels good, keeping the right fingertips to start, right toes to start on the mat. You can work on elevating up those right toes and left fingertips. So coming into our balanced bird dog here, finding your breath. So trying to keep the arm and the leg parallel to the floor. We don't want to sink. I know I do this sometimes. I sink kind of down into that shoulder. We want to keep that strength in that right shoulder. Couple more breath. One more. When you're ready, you're slowly bringing that left hand and the right knee back down to the mat. So take a moment here, maybe give that right wrist just a little bit of a roll out. Here we go. And then we're going to move to the other side. So this time we're going to bring that left hand just maybe a little bit more towards center here. Okay, so you feel nice and steady there. So this time the weight's going to be primarily on the right knee and the left hand. So making sure the fingers are spread wide on that left hand. And when you're ready, you can work on bringing the right fingertips forward and the left toes back by lengthening the left leg. And if that feels okay, I mean, you can totally do your bird dog right here, by the way. You know, just start by working those fingertips or toes up just a little bit at a time. But if you're feeling steady, feel free to guide that arm and leg all the way parallel to the floor. Engaging your core keeps you nice and steady here. And if you're like me, I have a couch not too far here. I can kind of use that if I'm stuck, right? Or a wall just to help steady if you need that. Support yourself if you need that. Trying to access that ease of breath. That'll help support you as well. One more breath. And then when you're ready, we're slowly bringing that right hand and left knee down to the mat. And we're coming back into our tabletop. So tucking the toes again, we're going to bring the hips back on towards the heels. Option here to sit on the heels and just kind of roll out the wrists. If this is a bit much, you can leave the toes untucked. Okay. I'm kind of enjoying that extra stretch on the arches of the feet today. My feet need that TLC. Deep breath. There we go. And then bringing the hands down to the mat. We're going to bring the big toes together, knees nice and wide. And on an exhale, hips come back onto heels into child's pose. So we're just bringing the arms forward and just rest the elbows down onto the mat. You can either go on a cheek or your forehead onto the mat. And finding your breath. So you take this moment just to do a little check-in. How are you feeling right now? And whatever is there is okay. Just notice, just acknowledge it. All right, when you're ready, we're slowly going to bring yourself back up into your tabletop position. And this time we're going to tuck our toes and on an inhale, slowly bring the hips up into our downward facing dog. So you might want to take a few minutes here, pedal out the feet. There we go, drawing the hips up as we paddle out our feet. So if your hamstrings are like mine, they're a little bit tight today. I did a big walk yesterday. So this, I'm just going to go nice and easy with this to start. Okay, this is our first down dog, so I don't want to push it. So I'm coming to a little bit of stillness, finding my breath. All right, and then inhale, I'm going to walk my feet forward to the head of the mat, coming into a standing forward fold. And just let your spine, your head, your arms just hang here. I'm going to ragdoll my arms. So I'm going to hold opposite elbows with my hands just to help open the shoulders a little bit more. And then releasing the hands down to the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine. Exhale, fold. And then inhale, we're going to swing the arms all the way overhead. And then palms together, down through the heart center, into our mountain pose. Couple breaths. Thumbs pressed at the heart center. Then releasing the arms to the side. Inhale, swing the arms all the way up. Exhale, we're going to bring the palms together, down through that midline. Bending at the hips, coming into our forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Letting your hands come down to the mat. Couple breaths. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweeping the arms all the way overhead. Palms together. And then hands down through that midline, down to the heart center. Pause for a few breaths. One more breath. Arms to the sides. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. This time swan dive, so bring the arms apart, chest leads all the way down. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Fingertips pointing down to the mat. On an inhale, we're going to guide the hands forward and up as we keep a bend in the knees, and then we bring our hips down in the chair. So option for chair, you want most of your weight on the heels. You should be able to lift your toes off the mat. Okay. You can leave the arms out like this, or you can bring them parallel to the floor, or hands to heart center. So whatever feels best for you. Couple more breaths. Doing great. This is a big one. Let's go one more breath. And then on the exhale, coming back into our fold. Nicely done. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Hands down to the mat. We're going to step our right foot all the way back. And we're lowering down into that back right knee. So coming into that supported low lunge here. Deep breath. When you're ready, on an inhale, option to bring the arms all the way overhead, full low lunge. Back toes can either be tucked or untucked. We want to make sure that our front knee is stacked over the front ankle. Option for cactus arms, if you like, goalpost arms. One more deep breath. Exhale, hands down to the mat. And we're going to elevate that back right knee, and we're going to step the front foot all the way back into our plank. So option here to always lower the knees, modify plank. That feels more supportive. Deep breath. And then exhale, we're going to lower down knees, chest and chin down to the mat, elbows close to the side. Untuck the toes. Inhale, lifting up our head and chest in the cobra. Exhale, all the way down. Tucking the toes. We can come up through tabletop or elevating the hips all the way up into our downward facing dog. So remember, tabletop is always a great option here. Deep breath. Just as you need to. Keeping the spine nice and long. Let your head just hang. Inhale, up on the balls of the feet. We're going to step that right foot all the way forward between the hands, lowering down the back left knee, coming into our supported low lunge now on the other side. So just taking a pause here for a breath. Remembering that initiation doesn't have to be super dramatic. right? It could sometimes just be as simple as let's take the next breath. Let's make the next move, whatever that is. So option to stay here in your supported low lunge, or inhale, arms all the way up into your full low lunge. Option this time, if you like, to clasp the hands behind the back, roll the shoulders onto your back. Whatever feels good for you. Finding your breath. One more breath. And then exhale, release the hands if they're clasped, or bring them on down if they were up. And then we're going to step our back foot all the way forward, coming into our standing forward fold, head of the mat. Let your head just hang here. Deep breath. On your next exhale, we're just going to bring a bend to the knees. And then bringing the feet, I'm just going to turn so you can kind of see, a little bit further apart. The toes are about 45-degree angle. Ankles are just under the hips. This is our position for our yogic squat. If this is a bit much, or like, oh, I can't quite get, some people, the heels aren't quite down, that's fine, by the way. You can also use a cushion under your seat or a block under your seat for support. Worst case scenario, you can always just sit on the mat, right? With your feet, in a similar position, maybe a little forward. Still getting that opening of the hips, right? Which is what we're going for here. So whatever version you're in is great. So we're going to bring the elbows to the inside of the knees, palms together, thumbs at the heart center in our yogic squat. Finding your breath. Deep breath. Just taking a moment of contemplation here. Maybe thanking yourself for having started today. And feeling in your body and in your space the benefits of that beginning. All right, and then when you're ready, we're just going to bring the left fingertips down to the mat. And we're gonna, on an inhale, open up that right arm into a little bit of a twist here. Gaze can go up towards that right arm or right fingertips. Pause for a couple breaths. And then exhale, let's come back to that neutral position. One full breath. And then lowering the right fingertips down to the mat. On an inhale, opening up that left arm all the way up and open. Gaze can go up towards the left fingertips. Deep breath. And then exhale, let's bring those left fingertips all the way back to center. Nice. And then using your hands just to support, bringing your seat down to the mat. We're going to bring the legs out long, out in front, coming into staff pose. So making sure your seat's nice and even on the mat. Legs are long. If your hamstrings are really tight and keeping the legs long is a bit much, you can always keep a little bent in the knees as well. So we're going to flex the toes towards us, opening up the chest, get nice and tall. Bringing our arms all the way up on an inhale. And then exhale, hinging at the hips, coming into our seated forward fold. So again, I'm very tight in the hamstrings today, so I'm not all the way to the toes, but that's okay. I'm going to take a nice deep breath. Send my hamstrings all kinds of good oxygen and care. And it's amazing when you do that how they tend to open up and relax. If you're like me, you're used to forcing things all the time, and that does tend to create a lot of resistance, and in your body can create a lot of injury. So that's one of the wonderful things I've learned with yoga is the power of just softening into a position with care and with breath. You tend to get a lot more done. One more deep breath. And when you're ready, you can just slowly use your hands to help guide your body all the way back up. Now I'm going to bring the soles of the feet together, coming into our cobbler's pose or butterfly pose. So you can use your hands on the ankles to help guide the ankles towards your torso. Okay, you can kind of move your wings if you like. There we go. And then getting nice and tall again at the crown of the head, all the way up. And this might be good right here. Okay. But if you feel you are okay with a little more of a stretch on an exhale, you can come into a bit of a forward fold as well. So totally up to you. Again, this is different for everybody. Like I always say, yoga is not a competitive sport, right? It doesn't matter what I'm doing. It's what you're in your body, in your space. It's what you need. Just make sure you're respecting that. All right, when you're ready, you can just bring yourself all the way back up. And we're going to bring the legs out in front. And we're going to come down onto our back. Oh, slowly all the way down. Just keep a bend in the knees. Soles of the feet on the mat. Just to start, let yourself arrive here. When you're ready, you can bring a bend to the knees, bring them all the way into chest. And wrap your arms around your knees. Maybe a little rock from side to side along the lower back. Deep breath. All right. And then we're going to bring the arms out to the sides, either in a T or if you want to do the cactus arms. That's what I'm going to do today. And then taking a deep breath in. And on an exhale, letting the knees fall towards the right. So just a little bit of a supine twist. And you can bring your gaze towards the left if that's okay on your neck. Deep breath. And then when you're ready, we're just going to bring the knees back up to center and gaze up to center. Deep breath in. And then exhale, let the knees go towards the left. And gaze can go towards the right. One more breath. And then when you're ready, bringing the knees back up to center again. And we're going to bring the feet above the torso. Knees come to either side of the torso. Hands can either be on the soles of the feet from the inside or grabbing from the outside or on the shins or perhaps on the backs of the thighs. So whatever feels good for you here in your happy baby. Finding your breath. Let gravity just do its work here. There's no need to pull, the legs anywhere. Just kind of deep breath. Maybe you have a little subtle rocking from side to side, or maybe you've found some stillness. Deep breath. When you're ready, you can just bring your legs long now down the mat. Feel free to make any other movements or adjustments that you need before we come into our final Shavasana, my favorite pose of all time. All right. So just letting yourself, when you're ready, come into your final Shavasana. Legs long, let your feet roll apart. Arms are out at your sides, palms facing up. Head is in line with your spine. Just get nice and comfortable. Come to some stillness. And then closing your eyes. And taking a deep breath in your nose. And out your mouth. And just starting at your toes. Bringing all your attention down to your toes and your feet. Softening any tension that might be there. Then moving up to your legs. Feeling the weight of your legs on the mat. Up through your hips. Your belly. Feeling your belly and chest just moving with ease with every breath. Taking a deep breath. And exhale, softening your shoulders and your arms and hands. Let your fingers just relax. Let your jaw relax. Let all the muscles of your face relax. All the muscles around your eyes. Reminding yourself there's nothing you have to do right now. All the effort is done, so we're just going to rest. Just rest for the next few minutes. And gradually beginning to deepen your breath. And bring a little movement back into your fingers and toes. Maybe giving yourself a nice stretch all the way overhead. And when you're ready, you can slowly guide yourself onto one side. And just pause here for a few more breaths. And then when you're ready, you can slowly just guide yourself back up into the seated position, just like when we started. And just rest your hands on your knees or thighs. And invite you to keep your eyes closed and find your breath. I'm going to do a little visualization. So just visualizing a white column of light just moving down through the crown of your head, all the way down your spine, right to your heart center. And it lights up your heart center, feeling the lighting up of your heart center. Feeling that column of white light coming all the way down through the crown of the head, all the way down the spine to the heart center, lighting up that heart center. As you say quietly to yourself, I begin exactly where I am. I begin exactly where I am. Feeling that light, lighting up the heart center. And then now moving all the way down the spine, all the way down into the earth. All right, then bringing the palms of the hands together, thumbs pressed to the heart center. Just taking a moment of gratitude for beginning today. Namaste. Thank you for joining me for the practice today. I hope you were able to get what you needed from it. Until next time, feel free to subscribe or comment in the comments if you like practices like this, or if you prefer or want a different style or something else being addressed in our practices. I would love to hear that, or just maybe drop a hello telling me where you're watching in the world today. I would love that. All right, take care.